Welcome viewers, this is Machuka Nyarieko TV, where we analyze socio-economic and political issues concerning or relating to our state, right from the village to international level. And today I want us to focus on the return of GEMA, that is Gikuyu, Embu, Meru and Akamba unity, whereby Kalonzo and Gachagua are reading from the front. But before we can proceed, kindly, if you are watching this channel for the first time, subscribe so that whenever we produce another video, YouTube will automatically notify you. And for our resident subscribers, thank you for your continued support, and continue watching and sharing and be present the most. Back to our topic. It is obvious that the Kenyan politics is becoming interesting and interesting each day. Today, we expected that the former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was going to have a truce with the current deputy president of Kenya, who is Gachagua. However, in the function whereby Benson Gathungu Kamau was being ordinated as a bishop in Kiambu County, it happened that the former president did not show up. But he did send his team to represent him, who noted that he is somewhere in Nigeria. Another notable thing that I observed is that the Haki Coalition fraternity was conspicuously absent, meaning that there could be something that has not livened up, because I've done several episodes concerning the Mount Kenya region and the intended unit, including the handshake between Gachagua and the former president. Of course, before any unification, since they are people of high reputation or high status in the society, there has to be some agreements before they meet. Actually, the bishop opined that he requested the deputy president that when the former president will be coming to his church for service, he also joins him. This could mean that there was that deferment of the truce until things happen. Some of the reasons as to why this has happened is because of the Western Kenya unity. I did opine yesterday, or I did argue that the Western Kenya unity, that is the UDA and ANC merger, will affect Mount Kenya in a very great way, because Jeremiah Kioni has been tasked to unite more than 25, actually, they say that one political parties which do exist in Mount Kenya. However, when we talk of uniting these political parties, some of them may be swallowed by the merger that is likely to happen between this community, I mean between ANC and UDA, because that will be a sign to encourage these other these other political parties to join the merger, because of course, because it will go with positions. This merger will go with oppositions. Now that could have been something that has caused some conflict within the Haki coalition. I can now say that Jubilee is moving from the Jubilee to Haki coalition, because they did affirm that their leader as well as spokesman is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and as I have noted, they were conspicuously absent during the ordination of Kamau Benson. As we observed, or as we followed the ordination, and during the speeches, something new emerged, which has made me to talk of now the purported GEMA unity. Initially, the Akamba were inseparable with the GEMA, but they were divided, or they separated from the GEMA simply because of political ambitions. We had the kalonzo, we had also the Charity Ngiru. So, because of the interests, they had to support their own. You know, remember that Mount Kenya, especially Central, they normally have a very large population, and in such a large population, it is unlikely to not to have a candidate from there, or whom they choose, or who is contesting in the topmost seat. Probably that could have been the reason as to why they separated. But today, the Chuja MP, of course, whenever you see a politician speaking, it is a deal done, and it has been decided that now feed the audience so that we can know what is their take. So the Juja member of parliament did opine, or did ask Gachagua to work with like-minded people, like the former member of parliament, I mean the former vice president, Kalonzo Musyoka. And then it became a story of the function. It was supported by Eugene Wamarwa, who was also present. Actually, initially, there were murmurs that the Bungoma governor, Natembeya, was supposed to attend the meeting, but I didn't see him, the ordination. So, meaning they are crafting, when you see them talking like that, they are crafting something. And already, during the meeting, the deputy president affirmed that he has now completed uniting the Mount Kenya region. Now he's moving out, calling the former deputy vice president, the former vice president, that you are simply our cousins. And a cousin will always come any time when needed. I said yesterday in another episode that when a cow has a calf, and when it sucks milk from the mother, it normally runs around the field. It will run, and finally come to the mother. So Rigathi Gachagua is using the same policy, to appeal to the Akamba that you are our cousins, now come, let's work together. And Eugene Wamalwa was saying that him, that is the Western and the Mount Kenya region, did get into power during the regime of Mwai Kibaki, and therefore they have nothing to worry. And they said, actually, it is like now they are agreeing on 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling. So that becomes 1 point of convergence within those 3 leaders. They have all agreed. And another shocking event that took place is when the former governor for Kiambu, Ferdinand Waititu, argued that this time around they will support one of their own, on which agreement will be written within parties, because they went to the last general election without any agreement, and that's why they are suffering now. While Gadoni Wamshomba said they are tired with the current government because of the supplementary budgets which normally come after the main budget. That in such a budget, they do vote for the budget. Maybe, for example, he was giving he was talking of the Mau Mau Road, which runs all through the entire or through the counties of Mount Kenya. He was saying they did pass money in the last budget, but during a supplementary budget, the money was diverted elsewhere. So that's why it's now activating for the changes of these laws, and actually she did vote no, so as to ensure that, or she's supporting a rejection of the bill despite the fact that it passed, because of the diversion of such funds or budgets. It is next to impossible to not mention the interests of these 2 individuals. Okay, it is next to impossible not to mention the interests of the former president, the former vice president, and the current deputy president, because there is no relationship that can exist, because as I noted earlier, there is now that desire. It seems that there are machineries that are putting out, are working out to ensure that there is now the Akamba Park in the Mount Kenya region, which was commonly known as the GEMA. What do you think if these people or these communities reunite will happen? What do you think will happen if these two communities reunite? Of course, it will be an increased voter-rich area, and this can bring wrangles, but you know, when these politicians want anything, they'll always do anything. When they want anything, they will always do anything. So they try to work in and out so as to ensure that they achieve their goal. It appears that despite the fact that Kalonzo Musyoka claimed that for the first time, probably after a long time, or he has never sat next to Gachagua, he just applauded him and he said this was the first time he sat very close to him. You know, in politics, sitting very close to him, it could be meaning that because he went further and said he is speaking actually a language that resonates well with him. When I paraphrase the words, he speaks or is talking a language that will protect the people, not just from the mountain but elsewhere. So he told him, be a voice of the weak in the society. And of course, they also, the various leaders also stands with Rigathi Gachagua on his call for unit, because everywhere else they have done the same. Everywhere, mentioning Western and more other places, they have been calling for unit. But what I've seen, what I can say about the deputy president is that he's a man who believes that you have to be united from there, get united from there, so that whenever you come to the table, you are able to decide on how to allocate resources. Because when you go maybe one or two people to the table, some of these resources are given when reflecting or looking at the unity. The more you are united, the more you have a force, and the more you are not united, the more you are disintegrated, the more likely you are not, the more you are likely not to succeed from getting the resources. And then another issue that appeared is on the manner which the MCAs, largely drawn from Mount Kenya, were associating themselves to the villagers, to the villager, and others, including MPs, associating themselves to Gen Z generation, meaning that things have changed in Mount Kenya. Things have totally changed in Mount Kenya. Probably, just as I said in the previous clip, that's why the president has moved a step further to form a merger with the Western Kenya, so that you must always try to make peace, but prepare for the worst. You should always put all your trust on what you have seen has changed. Of course, also another point of attraction was the issue in which the Nyeri governor, Kahiga, said that in all ways and means they will defend their son, but he will wish they sit together and agree, because without that agreement, people are likely to suffer in terms of development. And if you look at the reception, the behavior of the politicians at the meeting, there is a likelihood that these individuals will reunite. The GEMA community will reunite again, because even actually for the first time I saw a kalonzo who was genuinely smiling without struggle. There is sometimes kalonzo has been going a lot, and when he smiles, sometimes you see him smiling but with so many questions in his mind. But today I think he felt as if he was back at his home cousins. So there is that possibility that this group is likely to unite. You saw Johnston Muthama the other day complaining that the Ruyas, the Kambas, have been neglected by the UDA party. And remember, Johnston Muthama was the hand man in the Eastern. He was in charge of the UDA campaigns in the that region, because he was the chairman. He was the chairman for the party. So if you see former party complaining, know that there are a lot of issues that need to be tackled within that party, and such a complaints will make it very possible for Muthama and the entire Eastern, I call it Lower Eastern, to move back to GEMA community. And another reason as to why this GEMA community can easily reunite is the fatigued Kalonzo. Kalonzo has been in campaigns for a long time, and it seems that he will work in all ways and means to ensure that he is in the government, in the next government. And there is all indications that what Kimani Ichung'wah has been saying, that he is very sure of the deputy president being on the ballot in 2027, that could be true, because the deputy president has even indicated that now he has completed the unity affairs back at home, and he has now seen the talk at the village level. Now he's moving out to talk to other friends. He's reaching out to other friends. So there is that possibility that is unhappy, and time is likely to tell whether he will continue in the ruling party. Of course, he'll have to wait until 2027, and there is those individuals who had to propose a bill whereby the deputy president cannot contest until their term is over. Of course, which will fail terribly. It's an informed bill because of the political lights. Everyone has a light for political participation. So even if they take it to which court, there's nothing that can stop any one person from participating in political rights. That's why, and I also did an episode, that's why it's now easier for one to recall his member of parliament or MCA because of the political rights as entrenched in our constitution. So we are looking forward to see what will happen within Kalonzo Musyoka and Rigiji, as well as Eugene Wamalwa. And remember, there was also some expectations that Natembeya was to be present. So thank you. My name's Ale Machuka Nyarieko. Kindly continue subscribing so that you can move far. Thank you.